everyone, welcome to my kitchen. On this episode of Home Cooked Darling, we're going to be making one of my favorite desserts, my creamy coconut rice pudding. It is absolutely delicious. The ingredients are simple and inexpensive, and it's very quick to make. The great thing about this recipe is even if you don't like coconut, there's a modification you can do so you don't have to include any at all. Let's get started.
For this recipe you will need 3/4 of a cup uncooked white or jasmine rice, a 13.5-ounce can of coconut milk, a splash of half and half or whole milk, 1/3 of a cup white sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 beaten egg, 1/3 of a cup flaked sweet coconut, this is optional, or 1/3 of a cup of golden raisins, also optional, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 tablespoon of butter.
So I mentioned before that this is a good recipe if you don't like coconut. All you're going to do is substitute half and half or whole milk for the coconut milk, and you'll have a regular creamy rice pudding sans coconut. So we start off by cooking our rice. If you don't know how to cook rice, just follow the directions on the bag. It'll walk you right through it. And I recommend for this recipe using either white rice or jasmine rice, as jasmine rice and coconut are just an absolutely perfect combination. Now what we want to do is add our 2 cups of coconut milk to the rice, but let me show you why our ingredients also call for a little bit of half and half or milk. Alright, this is a 13.5-ounce can of coconut milk, and when we put it in here, you can see that it adds up to just under 2 cups. So, we take our half and half and just fill it until it reaches 2 cups. Now we only want to pour in 1.5 cups of this coconut milk right now, so just pour it out until you reach 1.5 cups and save the rest for later. Now pour the coconut milk into your rice. Okay, now make sure you're stirring consistently so none of the rice sticks. And to this we're going to add our sugar, and our salt. So we're going to continue stirring this over medium heat for about 15 to 20 minutes until it becomes thick and creamy. Alright, so about 20 minutes has gone by. This smells absolutely amazing. My whole kitchen just smells like sweet coconuts. It's one of my favorite parts about this recipe. And let me show you the consistency here. The pudding is very thick and creamy. It's a perfect consistency for rice pudding. Now, keeping it over medium heat, we're going to add our 1 beaten egg, stirring. And keep stirring consistently because you don't want to end up with a scrambled egg in there. Now add in your remaining half cup of coconut milk. We're going to stir this for 2 minutes. This would also be the point where you add in your raisins or your flaked coconut. I'm putting flaked coconut in mine. So I take my coconut, 1/3 of a cup, and I pour it into the pudding. And mix it up really nicely. Alright, once 2 minutes have gone by, we're going to remove this from the heat. So please remember to turn off your oven. Take it off the heat here. Just give it a few more good stirs. I don't know if you can see a little nose down there, but every time I cook, my dogs, Bo and Lily, are right at my feet. So for a restaurant, having a dog in the kitchen is probably not acceptable, but this is home cooked, darling, and there's nothing more home cooked than having a puppy dog at your feet while you're cooking. I'm not going to introduce you to her right now because I don't want to touch her with my clean hands, but you'll meet her later. Now into our pot goes vanilla extract. Stir it up. And the last final touch, making every recipe better, is our butter. Just melt that butter in. That'll melt fairly quickly, especially if you started to soften it before this whole process. And that is ready to eat. Now I like to eat mine nice and warm, almost hot even. Right off the stove is perfect for me. But it tastes delicious cold too, so however you prefer. Give myself a little scoop. Time for the best part. Oh my gosh, you guys. This really is the best rice pudding ever. It's so creamy. It's the perfect amount of sweet. And the texture of that flaked coconut in there is really, really nice. You have to try this. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go finish my pudding.